Hello, students. Welcome to Political Science 28103, International Relations and Global Studies. This is the introduction to the course. I am Dr. Sophia Barkat. I teach uh, at University of Arkansas and also at Northwest Arkansas Community College. I teach political science. Here's a short list of my degrees. Um, First, I want to welcome you to the course. For those of you who are new to the college, congratulations on being accepted and on your new journey. I'm excited for you all, and I wish you a productive semester. So this is an introduction to the instructor, which is myself, and the Blackboard Ultra course shell and assignments. What's going to be inside the course shell, right? So once you log in, let's look at what the course shell looks like. So here we are inside PLSC 28103 section 901, which is the online section. And this is the content page right here. You have the calendar, which should show you what's due, what's happening on a monthly or weekly basis. But I've seen some problems with calendar. Sometimes it will not show the assignments that are due. So don't follow the calendar necessarily. Look at the syllabus, and also in the content section, you will see, let's see what you get to see as a student. Let's go to the student preview. So here you see at the top, there's a cyber cafe. You can ask any questions about readings and lectures that you've watched right here. And I will check every week for those questions. And other people in the class are also welcome to join in the discussion. So we can have discussions about what the course content was, any clarification that's needed. When you start the semester, I want you to go to here, start here. This will have a lot of content. Download the syllabus. That's the first thing you should do. Look at the course schedule. Look at the textbook. So the textbook is something we can look at right now. The textbook for the course is Essentials of International Relations by Karen Mingst and Heather McKibben. I like to use the 9th edition and higher editions. Buy it immediately because we're going to start using it, this week. So go ahead and buy the book. So Amazon.com or the university bookstore at University of Arkansas will have copies. I like the used books. They're much cheaper. So if they have older editions anywhere, the 9th edition is the oldest I would use, go for those. The ebook version can be downloaded fast from these sites. You will need a laptop, to have where you save it, or a desktop at home, right? But the problem is sometimes students tell me that they had a problem. They downloaded the version and then they couldn't use it again, and they had to talk to the bookstore about it. So if you do download the ebook version, I would talk to the bookstore staff first. As if they help you, it might be better for you to, deal with any troubleshooting you have. If you download it from Amazon, I'm not sure how it would work. So do check with them. So do download the syllabus, save it on your computer, because it's very important that you know what's going on day to day. Also, there's a quiz. You need to pass the quiz because it goes over very important things for the semester. So do look at and save this immediately and then study it this week and take the quiz, which is coming up. So here you have a course schedule. It goes over what we're doing week to week. So here we are in week 1. These are the dates for week 1. Here's the topic. We are doing introductions. What are we going to do this week? So this gives you a breakdown. First, read the syllabus carefully, understand the type of assignments and grading, buy the textbook by Mingst and McKibben, look inside the module for week 1 and complete the introduce yourself discussion. So immediately this Sunday is due complete the quiz on the syllabus after reading the syllabus carefully, taking notes, figuring out what's going on. Week 2 is August 25th to 31. 31st, you have the approaches in IR, which is chapter 1 of Mingst and McKibben. And so I say buy the book immediately, read chapter 1 of the textbook, watch the lecture on chapter 1. So there's a lot of work. Quiz 1 is on chapter 1. It opens on Monday of August 25th, and then is due in 2 weeks by Sunday, September 7th. So it opens opens up on August 21st, and the end of the week is the 31st, right? And then the next week is September 1 to 7. So at the end of the week on Sunday, the quiz is due. So all assignments will be like this. They'll start on a Monday and be due at the on the Sunday of the second week. Okay, so make sure you do your work on time. I have set up reminders throughout the weeks where we have the weekly lesson modules. Okay, make sure you look at this. So let's look at this. Let's see if we can get into it. So here you see there's a quiz on the syllabus, which needs to be completed by August 24th. You need to click on the to-dos for week 1, check what's going on here. You need to finish the quiz on the syllabus, buy your book. You also have to introduce yourself to the class. This one, I kept it a little bit longer. The due date is August 31st. I did this because some people sign up for the course in the middle of the week. They don't check anything until, the week has passed. I do want you to get some points. So I may open up the quiz on the syllabus for one more week, just to be fair. But, if you joined early, please, do these immediately. Just because something is due on the 31st doesn't mean you have to wait that long, right? So take the time to tell us some things about yourself, why you're taking the course, but nothing too personal, like giving out personal details and things like that. There's a lecture, check it out. It talks to you about the main topics of international relations. So these are pre-recorded by me, and click on these and you can watch. Let's go back to our PowerPoint. So, as I said, this lecture is about introducing you to the Blackboard Ultra course shell. So do check the to-dos list for each week when you open the folder. Contacting me. My contact information is in the syllabus. I did not share it here because it's, the internet. As this is an online course, I don't usually meet students in person. However, we can meet via Zoom. Send me an email to set it up. If you're not well or falling behind in class or having an emergency, please email me as well so I know why you're absent. Email me also if you need any help with assignments, reading, etc. Like perhaps it's not opening up, or perhaps you don't have the book, you can't finish it on time, you didn't understand a section of the reading. I'm here to help you with that. Also, you have the Cyber Cafe section, right? You can post it there. We just talked about the book, right? So make sure you buy it. Blackboard, look around Blackboard. We just went there for a minute. Blackboard Ultra Navigation. So when you enter the course shell, look at the menu bar at the top as we did, right? So you can see weekly announcements there. You can look at the grades that you have. Um, you can also look at the calendar as we looked at and some other options. Let's actually just go back there for one more second. So here you have content, which is this, whatever you're looking at. You have the calendar, you have class announcements. You can see what discussions are available. You can look at your grades. You can message me and, see messages I'm sending from you. Okay, so those are the options. So let's go back to the PowerPoint. Week one. So we looked at what's in the start here folder. Look at that very carefully. Look at everything. Look inside the syllabus. Look inside the course schedule so you know what's coming up. So the syllabus itself will have a copy of the course schedule. So if you print that out, you'll have course content description, course requirements, assignments. You'll have course policies, resources for students, and also the course schedule. Okay, so do find the syllabus, download it, print it out, keep it with you at all times. I talked a little about the Cyber Cafe already. What is the workflow? This is a good thing to know. So every week on Monday morning, a new folder will open up, a lesson folder, and it will give you a checklist, to-do list, and inside there will be an entire list of readings and assignments you have to complete. Sometimes you will see a lecture inside there. Sometimes the lectures will be not inside the to-do list, but outside. It's just how things were embedded. So do look at those. So the work will be due on Sundays. So any quizzes, any online discussion forums, they'll all be linked to that folder. So week one, you'll have all the work set up for week one inside there. You'll have any quizzes, any discussions, any readings, all of the videos and lectures will be inside there. When you're done with week one, wait for week two. When week two starts on Monday, go and check the week two folder, look at the to-dos list, look at the videos, look at the lectures, look at the reading list, all of that, any kind of discussions you have to finish, everything will be there. So on some weeks we'll have discussions, and on some weeks we might have just quizzes, and sometimes we might have both. So types of assignments. You have 5 kinds of assignments. One is the written online discussion. So you will have 5 online discussions, and this will go over the content. So the topics, the subject matter, right, in the book. So we'll have 5 discussions. Quizzes, you'll have 7 quizzes, each is 20 points, and these are quite difficult. They test you on your knowledge of the material in the books. So do read the chapters. If the quiz is on chapter 1, read chapter 1 thoroughly, take lots of notes. You'll have to take 7, but I will take the highest 5 quiz points for each student towards the final grade. So if you didn't do well in one of the quizzes, don't panic, don't worry about it. I'm going to take the 5 top ones. And sometimes students forget the deadline for the quiz and they just miss the deadline and then they start panicking. So if that happens, if you've missed the deadline, you know, let me know. I may open it up one more week for you, but I do recommend that students stick to deadlines so we can move on to other things and you don't get bogged down in doing week after week of assignments in one short time frame. So to start the semester, we have the quiz on the syllabus, which is a requirement. You also have the student introductions, where you have a discussion forum and you talk about who you are, what your interests are, maybe your major of study if you haven't figured that out, maybe something you like studying, things like that. Also talk about any online websites you follow for news. I know news, international news is happening whether we like it or not. Maybe you watch TikTok for your news. Maybe you watch YouTube. Maybe you look at specific channels on TV. You know, talk about those things. At the end of the semester, students will do a self-evaluation report and they will look back at all the things they studied, what they liked, what they found difficult to follow, whether it was lecture, whether it was in the chapter. And then they will also try to understand how they could have done better, for example, in a quiz or gotten higher points in a discussion forum. So one thing to note, we never have exams. You have quizzes, but we don't have a midterm. We don't have a final. Grading, as far as quizzes, that's immediate. You know, it happens, you take the quiz and it just happens, right? You see your result. For discussions, I will need 3 to 4 days, 3 to 5 days usually to grade your assignment. So what happens is students throughout the week do their work at different times, right, from each other. I go in a couple of times a week, maybe twice a week, and I see what's been done. I grade what I can, and the rest of it I grade as I go back. So you will see some work has been graded, some of it is still, you know, waiting to be graded. Give me some time to do that. And once I grade things, you get one more week to do revisions or updates. Okay, so maybe you've missed something, you forgot to answer a section. That happens a lot when students don't look at the questions carefully. So you can get extra time to do updates, but I do want to see that you've worked on the paper very well. If you think that you're absolutely bogged down that week and you cannot hand in your work, you can send me an email requesting a little bit more time, but do plan your weeks so that you don't get bogged down in too many assignments trying to do them all at once, right? So the grade book will show your points. So do make sure you check your points to see what's going on. If you see that I've graded your assignment, as in I've given feedback, but I never put in any points, it's possible that I forgot. This can happen. So do remind me, send me an email saying, you know, Dr. Barkat, I saw your feedback, but I don't see any points. I think you forgot to add the points. Please add the points. So that works, you know, that's fantastic. So I'm asking you to get, you know, introduced and to finish the quiz. I want you to look one more time at this online thing. Let's look at the course shell for one more minute. I want to show you one thing I'm extremely concerned about. When we go into discussions, let's look at a discussion forum. So you're able to see the discussion question because I want to show you that discussion question, but not so because I want you to look at the question, but I want to focus on the guidelines for completing discussions. So it says under your discussion question, at the bottom of every discussion question, this list will be here. It says for highest points, 1, answer all parts of the assignment adequately. Do your own work. Don't rely on other people nor on AI programs like ChatGPT or whatever else you use, unless you are unable to read due to a disability or you may not understand the language. Talk to the Center for Educational Access at U of Arkansas if you have any learning or other disabilities and will need accommodations. So if you think that there are certain things, for example, you need more time to understand what's written here, then you definitely should talk to the Center for Educational Access. They will advise you and they will send me an email saying, please consider that the student has difficulty understanding the English or has difficulty processing the information, and so give more time. 3, give yourself adequate time to complete the assignment. Do not start an hour before the work is due. Start early in the week. So come on Monday and check out the folder, look at the discussion questions, maybe copy and post, save it to your MS doc, save it in an MS doc. Look at the question carefully. Think about the question when you're reading the chapter. Keep thinking about it. Maybe you write down your points, in a notebook. So note taking is very good, yeah? And so plan your assignment. Don't start the day the assignment is due, such as Sunday morning, and then start panicking because 10 other things are due. Okay. So do start your work in MS Word or other editor, wherever you do your writing, do it on that editor, the software, right? So MS Word or whatever else you might be using. Don't start your work in the discussion forum because oftentimes what happens is you're typing, maybe your computer closes, crashes on you, or Windows crashes on you, or something happens. Maybe you spill something on your computer and it fries, right? You don't want to lose all the hard work you've been doing. So save it in MS Word and then save it on a floppy or something. Like we used to have floppy, sorry, on a USB, right? Those drives. Save it on something that will not get destroyed or is a backup. And once you've edited your work for spelling, grammar, punctuation, etc., then post it. That way you have a beautiful, finished version, and then you can share it. So this is a graded assignment, and so do your best work. This is college, right? Don't be shy to excel in work or life. Be excellent in everything you do. People are, going to value you if you put in your best work. It's just how we are in society. 7, if you need help with writing, go to the writing studio in the Cord building with your paper. So take it, take a file with you, take your laptop, whatever it is, show them. If you have significant trouble writing, and everybody does, and believe me, I also did when I was an undergrad. So it helps to have somebody read it and give professional advice about how to write in a better way. So do get their advice. And Cord, the writing studio people are really nice. I have been there with my students. They're superb. So, please go, don't feel shy. All of us struggle with some things. And as a kid, I remember struggling with writing. And so it's not something that you're alone with. There's hundreds of people walking in and out of their office every day. Okay, so do go. So the word limit range will be there for each assignment. Do look at it, okay? So it means that don't write anything less than 400 or more than 500. I mean, you don't have to be, uh, in that tight range. Don't write anything less. I would recommend writing adequately to answer the questions. There will be several parts of the question, and so you will need some substance in the paper. So complete all work by the deadline. If you cannot, email me. So citing sources is very important. For example, if you got your material from chapter 1, mention that. Mention which chapter, which page number. So within your answer, the body of the answer, tell me the author's name. For example, here, King. So this is for a video. So it says MSNBC. So you show the network, what year was it published, and then of course you saw it on YouTube, right? Or something like that. If it's a book, you should write the author's name, like King. You should write the year of publication and the page number. So I need these things because I need to know that you actually read the content. A major problem we have these days is using, a lot of people are using ChatGPT and other AI. So they don't actually do the work, the answer is generated. The problem with this, and let's actually look at that, what are the problems? So let's look at my policy regarding AI. Let's look at this one. Okay. So we go over all these policies, citing, okay, so using AI. So here's a section on my policy regarding AI. If you have a language problem, for example, if your English isn't the best, if your writing isn't the best, if your ability to understand isn't the best, if you're struggling when you read the book, do I recommend using AI to understand? Only if you're absolutely unable to follow anything. I would say use AI to give you an idea of what was in the chapter. And I would say if you want to use AI to understand what was in the chapter, go ahead. But AI is not going to do a great job. I've seen the production that students create when they do work using AI. It's actually quite bad. For example, you might see that the language is very good because AI is very good at writing. However, it doesn't really discuss what's inside the content of the chapter very well. It might look at the headlines or the headings and say, oh, yeah, this is what it does. It doesn't do a great job of going in and actually reading the material carefully. And so when a student uses AI to answer, I can tell because they haven't really discussed the material at all. It's very bad, it's very weak, and they will get zeros from me for not discussing anything carefully and critically. So I do want students to go look at the chapters. And in fact, you can look at AI. You can see the kind of answer that AI produced, and then go back and do the assignment yourself and see what you produced. And I can guarantee you that you produce better work on your own. So don't get a horrible grade, get a good grade, right? So we went over the grading stuff. So the total points in the course are 700 points, if anyone is concerned. Here you see the course schedule. So do print it out. It's going to save you throughout the semester to have a printed copy. I know that the university probably charges you for printing, and so many of my students always tell me, ma'am or professor, I don't want to print because it's expensive. Is there another way? So download it and save it on your desktop and look at it as many times as you want because it's going to save you throughout the course. And read all the policies inside the syllabus. One of the things I want to mention is freedom of thought and expression. You know, freedom of expression or freedom of speech, it's a tenet of the U.S. Constitution Bill of Rights. Let's make this a friendly space for everyone to share their thoughts, but let's also be polite to each other. Let's be kind to each other. So do read this section. I want you all to have no fear to express your ideas. You can have different perspectives on things. You can like different types of theories. That's fine. Mostly in your discussions and quizzes and assignments, I'm going to evaluate what you read in the chapters and what you talked about from the chapters and the lectures, and not so much on your political ideologies or other things. However, you are welcome to share your ideas. You are supposed to be not only reading and absorbing information, but also critically analyzing information. So your opinions matter. So let's be tolerant of differences. Let's be tolerant of people's ways of thinking and historical background and cultural backgrounds. Everybody has different perspectives. At the same time, I'm quizzing you and grading you on your knowledge of the textbook and other kinds of readings and lectures and videos and your ability to analyze that information. So with that, I'm going to stop this uh, video and I hope to hear from all of you soon.